This one might be a bit shorter because it's just adding gears, but I might drag it out to show how to retexture them and stuff. So let's just get into it. This is the base morph. We're going to duplicate this real quick. Before you want to add a gear, you have to do something to the morph, which is delete an antivirus script in it that deletes other scripts. So we'll drop down our base, we'll drop down button, drop down the morph script, and then delete antivirus. And now gears can get added normally. So if you want to add a gear, it has to go in the assets folder. So let's say you want to go and find a gear. So for example, we'll just go ahead, we'll get this gear, we'll get the teddy bear gear. Take the ID, go back in Studio. It gets added like you do with an accessory. You go in here, do this, it gets added into accessories. What I usually do is I drag the gear onto the morph button so I can just grab it whenever I get my morph. So now that we have our gear added, we can go ahead and test in Studio. Grab it, and we get our gear. And it works just as normal. Now, you can edit gears, so I'll just show an example from another thing I have. So this is a morph I have. You see I have a bunch of gears in it. I have this scream tool gear, right? What this does is I took a gear, I made it invisible, got rid of some of the sounds, and so when I pull it out, I gotta turn on desktop. When I pull it out, it'll make a scream noise. It does the same if you click or somewhat, which is neat to work with because you can use sound effects. But thing is, they have to be public audios because with these, I have music in them. So if I'll just play one real quick. Okay, that only works in Studio. I tried getting it work in a group game I'm in, it didn't work. So, tip for you Nevi, because I know I'll probably post this in there. If you want to get sounds to work in game, use ones off Creator Marketplace or get a production member to upload them. Like, another example, I have this gear. And I took that audio off Marketplace and it works like other gears. So it makes sounds when I click. I grab them off Creator Marketplace. And then this one, that's just a retexture. I took a model, I retextured it. I'll show that real quick actually. Let's go back over to our gear, our model over here. And we're going to add another one. We're going to go ahead and add the turkey leg. So we'll grab the turkey leg gear. So grab the ID, click on assets. You add it like normal, which you can't see that GUI. Drag it here, and we have it. So if we want to remodel this, if you want to change the texture, we're going to have to go on Creator Marketplace to find something to use, right? So let's go on Creator Marketplace, and I guess we'll just type chicken. You got all these. So you have this one, which is one I'm using. We'll click this, and then you got these drop down here. We'll do that. And in here, when you click on the mesh part, you get the mesh ID and the texture ID. So let's open the mesh ID. We'll copy this, and we'll go back in Studio. We'll click on the turkey leg and the handle in the mesh, and we change the mesh ID for that. Now we're gonna have to size this down a bit because of how big it is. Now we gotta go change the texture. So we'll go back into this, back to the chicken. Now we'll get the texture ID, copy that texture ID, then we go back to Studio, and then we change the texture ID. And we got our chicken. So let's go ahead and spawn in. Grab it. That works like normal. If you want to remove this little gear icon, you just go into here, delete that texture ID. That's the basics with adding gears and stuff. You just go in, grab the ID off of Roblox, put in assets, put it near your morph button, and then you get it. And that's also how you can retexture, remodel stuff. Pretty simple.